Hey everybody, welcome to the Unreal Engine live stream. The countdown timer was a little bit different today and we might have some audio issues later and I apologize for that. Just a couple of things happening in the background that are a little odd. Though we did get the lights fixed from last time when they were blinking, so we got that going for us. Anyway, I'm your host, Alexander Pascal, and joining me today are Lina Halper and Ben Gallagher, who's joining us on the couch over there from the UK. So that's cool. We'll be talking about animation stuff that came in 4.13 Part 2 in just a minute. But first, it's the news. So first things up, Henry from Oculus Story Studio, made in UE4, wins an Emmy. That's just really amazing. It's awesome.
Awesome news.
Yeah, I just feel really special that we were in any way, shape, and form involved with that, and it's really great. I love Henry. It's such a good little experience. It's super cute.
Yeah, very cute.
If Shelly was here, I'm sure we'd be hearing how much she loves it because she gushes about it. She loves it. But congratulations to Oculus Story Studio, Henry. Fantastic game. You really earned it. Great game or great experience. Let's see here. Yeah, the VR Focus Challenge. The first ever virtual reality challenge, VR Focus hosted a VR game jam in London. And so basically, if you were there, you could participate in this. There's a whole lot of these new VR game jams that have started up. Our buddies at VR Focus, it's just super awesome. Kevin Joyce and all them. So we teamed up with them to do some cool stuff prize-wise. Cool. Hyping and promotion, but just wanted to let everyone know there's a really great blog post up for all this and what all happened, went down, what the teams did. Make sure to check it out. It's pretty cool. Next up, Unreal Engine Marketplace update, August 2016. So we had a summer sale over the course of last month and the beginning of this month. It was, according to everything that I've been told, one of our most lucrative months ever, so that's amazing. All of our sellers did very well. We've been looking over how everyone did, and it was just our best month ever, actually. So congratulations to all of the sellers that participated and to everyone who enjoyed those good sales. But we have brand new stuff out again every month, thanks to all the beautiful teams. This forest has been on the forums for quite a while, actually. It looks really great. Yeah, definitely come in, check out all the hot new items. This is all up on the blog, so great big list of props and useful objects. Yay, more 2D stuff. Yeah, there's a horse armor pack. That's great. But yeah, really fun, neat things as usual. Thank you so much to all of our marketplace sellers for submitting these really just fantastic projects and assets. So that's it. And plugins, yes, because plugins are super hot. I remember before we had plugins back in the day. So y'all go out and get those. All right, next up, just a reminder, the Epic Mega Jam is going to be kicking off in a couple of weeks. We've got bigger prizes than ever, which we'll be announcing probably next week. So we'll be announcing all of the really big, hot, fancy stuff then. But you can go on ahead, jump over the forum announcement thread, which is over... Oh, whoops. I had an extra one. Well, you can jump over the forum announcement thread and find a team and all that. So, anywho, I'll have more information on that next week. Last thing in our news items is the Epic Games Awards. We've got a whole new round of dev grants. It's $100,000 worth of dev grants that went out to a bunch of teams. Just want to say that I am super impressed with all of these projects. I know that the team that goes and reviews all these things just blown away. Right of Ilk by Turtleneck Studios. I met these guys at GDC and went over to a little get together after one of the days there. We sat down, played the game. Fjord and I did, and it was just fantastic and gorgeous. Fun co-op experience. Just a good couch, sit by your friend, both you play. Really good stuff. Research and Destroy by Implausible Industries, All Walls Must Fall by In Between Games. It's a very interesting game about Cold War era. And Kabounce by Stitch Heads. This is a game that was from a game jam. This was from a UE4 jam. Tim Biogen's team over there worked very hard. I mean, I've gotten to play this a few times with the updated builds over at GDC when I got to actually meet them in person. I really gush about this game because I love classic pinball and I love these kind of arena combat-y things. So really amazing game. Check out Kabounce. All Right Rig by Alexander Shadalov. Now this one, Lena was sending me links to it earlier, like, oh, have you seen this? Check this out. It's just so amazing. So we'll probably
Yeah.
actually show a little bit of that in a bit as we talk about the pose
Yeah,
assets.
I show some video later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll be cool. Um, now let's see here. Meg 9 Lost Echoes by Skunkworks Kinetic. This is really cool. Come check out the trailer. I don't have that one loaded for you because it's gonna be a little bit long, but do come here and check out all of the Dev Grant winners. Play their play their trailers. Check them out. They're really stellar, really amazing games. And that's what I've got for the news today. Next up, Community Spotlight. So we always start off the Community Spotlight by saying thank you to all of our all of our Answer Hub, what we call Answer Hub sages, the people that get the top karma over the course of the last week. This week, our top karma earners are A. Gupta, who's been up there quite a few times now, going for that prestige. Noobs Disrubes, who I think also is prestiging, and Aaron Miller. So thank you so much. And what I mean by prestiging is all these people that are the top 3 will be getting a badge on the forums. And if you've gotten 3 badges, basically if you've gotten this 3 times already, then I have a new special prestige badge with like little gold star to say, you know, thank you, like a little extra thank you for coming back over and over again. Next up, we have Rad Rogers. Now, this is the one that I just wanted to warn you that due to a couple audio playback errors, maybe the trailer messes up a little. I'm sorry about that, but we definitely want to play the trailer. And if it doesn't, then you know, definitely go on to YouTube and check it out. But Rad Rogers, you want to give that a kick there?
Wakey, wakey, sunshine! Hey, kid, I said wakey, wakey. It ain't polite to sleep during a cutscene.
Huh? A cutscene? Dusty? You're alive? Whoa! What is this place?
Huh, I should have gone with that Italian guy with the mustache. Here, take this. Let's make it dangerous to go alone.
Oh, sick!
This is the first world, kiddo. Home to the Elder Tree. Let's go pay the old birch a visit, huh? Show them how it's done, kid. Wait. Hold on.
You smoking a wooden pipe?
Is she smoking a wooden pipe?
Well, it's my ex-husband, for sake.
Ugh! That's gross!
Just go. Get your out of here. They're not paying me enough for this.
Well, there's a teacher at school who kind of looks like...
You clearly have a way with the ladies, kid.
Huh. Awesome. Yeah, it's a very cool game. There's a couple of words in it that we couldn't say on the stream, so we kind of meowed over them if you were wondering what that was about. But other than that, yes, amazing, really great game. Lewis has been working on the particle effects. You saw the explosions with words coming out of them. They look fantastic. And yes, they have a Kickstarter going over here. Rad Rogers, the return of 90s era Apogee platformers. Come check it out. It's doing pretty well. It's got 20 days to go, but you want to get in on this. The rewards are actually really, really affordable and super cool. You get a lot of good stuff for very little, and it has a lot of just nice animated GIFs to check out. And yeah, amazing title. Way to go, Lewis. Way to go, team. Like, we can't wait to see it all get made. It's definitely right up our alley. Pow. All right. This one was sent to me quite a while back, but I've got the queue of spotlight items I've finally gotten through to Epic Minesweeper here. I'm really glad I finally get to talk about this one. So NanoVoxel sent this one over. It's a small little project of Minesweeper, except for he's released the full source of it. He's gotten or he's given away his game source. So he's giving away all of his code to how it was made. If you're just starting to learn how to use the engine in C++, it's one of those things that you want to open it up and reverse engineer it. It's very basic in that sense, but it's going to teach you, how to get started. So just want to say thanks to Nanovoxel. And as always, if anybody else out there is giving away little projects to help people learn on, or if you're giving away big things, tutorial series, etc., please hit me up on PM, however you can get me, Twitter, etc. Just really great to hear about these kind of things. So thanks, Nano, for sending this out to everybody. Next up. NVIDIA GameWorks merge branch by Galaxy Man. Galaxy Man went out and did a lot with the GameWorks features that have been out there and started integrating them into his own branch of UE4, which is out for anybody who has access to UE4 to take a look at, download, play around with. And Galaxy Man has a lot of stuff that's planned to be added to this. If you want to play around with a lot of the top-of-the-line stuff coming out of NVIDIA, this is a really good way to just kind of grab it without having to implement it yourself. Of course, be aware this is going to be a lot of high-end stuff, so you're going to want to have some pretty powerful hardware to work with. But, if you've got it, play with it. Hairworks is crazy. The water simulation stuff, actually, I think there's some really good. There we go. Like the morphing, the lighting. There you go. It's a soft body. Splat. Looks great. Sorry about that. But yeah. So yeah, if you're working in some high-end stuff, check this one out for sure. All right, that's what I got for the Community Spotlight. And speaking of really cool, new, exciting things, we have some 4.13 animation features to talk about. I'm going to let you take over this.
Okay.
So Lina,
Hi.
Ben, what do we got here? We're looking at pose assets?
Yes, we are looking at project set. Should I talk about the All-Right Rig first?
Oh, yeah,
Or
if you- if
because
that'll help you put it in
since we
context.
were just talking about in the earlier dev grant, do I move to this window?
Oh yeah, there you go. Now everybody
Okay.
can see it.
So, so this is what Alex Alex explained in the one of the earlier dev grant, and I don't know. Do I sound
Sound?
just play or
Oh
without
yeah,
sound?
if you play and you turn on sound, they should be able to hear whatever's on screen.
Okay,
But
so
it's up to you.
yeah, it's more like so this is animating feature in engine.
Mhm.
You can animate using sequencer, and you can animate, and then you can it's a more rigging control than the one in the editor right now. The one in the editor is you have to move all the joint, but this one you can move with the control of the set that you can just move, and it's gonna all move with it. So it's easy to animate. So this is all in the allrightrig.com, I think. Somewhere in this link somewhere. So just search it, and then it's really cool. And what he's working on next one is also facial rigging. So I just wanted to show. I didn't really tell him I'm showing, but it was pretty cool. Here's facial rigging now, so you can actually play with the face. So you can animate them, and you can do stuff in the engine. So if you guys want to check out, just make sure search it and find it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say first before going to the project set. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the project set and pose animation. The second one we are going to talk about is the sub-anim instance, who's in the UK, Ben, over there. And first I'm gonna talk about project set. So project set is a new feature in 4.13 that just like project set is basically a set of poses, and what do you do with it? I just want to kind of show how that works. So the way you can create the project now is that you create from animation. So any anim sequence in engine, you create it, and say like you create one that starts with say jump start. So now I made just jump poses. So if you open up, what it does is okay.
Yeah, it'll put it over there.
Yeah, keep moving. It's gonna create this pose. Each frame is gonna act like a pose,
Ah.
right? So
yeah.
that's basically idea. But now say like what do you do with them? So say like this is like start, jump start. And say like I don't care on anything else. I just, if we do that, then jump. I guess that's actually technically, but jump high up. Say you do that, and you don't care about all this pose. Then you have this jump start and jump up. You have this two pose.
Yeah.
So now you can create the animation from this one. So you say like you have an animation, you create the animation. Say there's like my jump. And say you add more frame because one frame is too small for jumping start. And you can just add curve of that pose. So you can say jump start and jump end up, actually up. So say what I'm trying to do is from jump start, I want to end with jump up. So if I want to do that, I basically have this two pose, start and up. I want to do that both sides. So the jump start is going to start with 1 and it's going to end with 0. So it's there's in the beginning it starts with a jump start and the jump end is going to start with 0. I'm basically animating curve to drive a pose.
Oh, I see. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it's basically doing that, but now you look at it, there's nothing there. Like, what am I exactly animating? So you are basically driving curve, but I have to specify what pose you are driving. And you can do that by preview pose set. You can say jump pose. Then now it's gonna drive these curves you are doing. It's gonna drive the pose. So you can create this animation using just pose.
Yeah. So this entire workflow is essentially take an animation that kind of already exists, break it down into poses by frame, and then you can drive between those poses as opposed to just running a flat animation. Gives you a lot more control over what he's doing.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because you can also do the same thing for locomotion. Like you can, there's like, I can show quick too, but like, say, do we have any run animation? Right. So you can create like using this, create the pose from locomotion. This is kind of funny workflow, but I can just show quick. So say like, I want to see the side view because I want to find the two extreme pose. Say like you do that for right. I don't know if I type correctly. Is it I?
Right forward?
Yeah, okay. So say you do that and then say like you want left to be, this to be left forward. And say you delete, you don't care about anything else, so you delete it. In 4.14, you can just insert pose the way you like to any pose. Right now we don't have that, so you have these two pose. And now you can just create the animation. You can do the same thing, but you can do more like, so in here, never mind. It's fine. So you can do like, and you add those curves. So the thing with this extra pose names is because we need names to create the pose. So we keep creating these unique names, but you can delete them in the anim curved window, which is actually the other one I wanted to talk about later. But this anim curve viewer will let you delete the curves, rename curves, or preview curve, viewing curves. So here you can do like variable curve, say like I want to add left forward, and I want to do right forward, and say like it's kind of hard to see because it's tiny window. But then you can do like I'm basically doing this something like basically what I want to do is I want to go left forward in some number of frames and then right forward in the other frame. I'm just basically animating by going back way. In both of them,
so you've created, like,
I'm
two,
creating this two different kind of like motion. It's
almost like little sine waves.
Yeah, almost does that, and you can actually do a lot better job in this curvature. You can do tangent, you can control tangent and stuff like that, so you can do better. But that's basically idea. So you can do this pose, and now you can see pose.
Look at him go.
I know this sounds really silly, but actually it's a really great way to make animation. If I show this link
Yeah.
of there's a famous GDC talk about pose animation, and
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I can.
Oh, why don't you open up a browser window and then
Yeah,
just put it in
I
there,
might
and
do
then
that,
we can have
and then I'm
Clint
gonna
zoom
drag
on
it,
it,
yeah.
so we can have everyone see.
So probably we don't want to do this now,
you
but
zoom on that URL, please. Thank you, buddy.
you mean this link? Yeah.
Yeah, so that everyone can see where to find this really quick.
It's overgrowth. The title is basically
Oh, yeah,
it's
we
a
mentioned that
procedural
before.
animation,
Yeah.
and what he did a lot is they have poses and they just drive between different poses by curve. So that's how you can animate something cheap. Like if you don't really have animator, you have some poses you can play with. You
Mhm.
can play with that. So that's how that works. So I just wanted to show you. But like that's kind of locomotion that you have here, and the way you can use this in the anim graph is you can create the anim blueprint.
Mhm.
So say like the way I do it is this is easier, but create anim blueprint, and in here you have those animations here, so you can use those wedge jump animation. Yeah, so you can do that. But the problem is if you do this, this doesn't have any other information than curve, so we don't know what it doesn't know how to interpolate the pose.
So it's just gonna think it's either 0.
Yeah, it's just curve value.
That's it. Okay.
So what I have to do is I have to go through the pose handler with the
Mhm.
pose. So if I link it and if I compile, then now it's gonna play this awesome my
Mine does a little
animation.
wiggle one.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you lost your mic. You're
I
laughing
do
too
that a
hard.
lot. I'm
She's
just
amusing
terrible.
herself so much.
This doesn't really stick well for me. But
No, it
anyway.
doesn't. Mine's fallen out 3 times. I'm sorry. It's just the truth, Clint.
Anyway, so you can do this way. That's how you can make a quick pose animation. And also we support to pose by name. So say like I have these poses that I just want to use, then you can just do right fold. Then it's gonna only just grab the right fold only.
So you don't even need to.
Yeah, you don't even need to animate them. But so if you can have one pose, multiple stuff, you can just use that for like just normal animation.
Oh, okay.
You can plug anywhere. So that's basically how the basic pose animation works. The one of the popular reason of pose animation is actually the facial, because the reason facial is because there's lots of optimized way to create the curve from the either phoneme or video, and they can just feed that to the pose matching curve. So we have an example of the pose animation here, which I will show you quick. So I have this I'm gonna create a new folder. It's confusing. So I have this pose FBX. So this is what Chris Evans made, our tech animator, the character tech team, made this pose. And so this is an example of the thing. Oh shoot, sorry. I had to import animation also. So
yeah,
I have to.
you might need those.
Yeah, sorry. So I have to check this import animation option and then import. So if you look at this one, you can really see much right now. Okay, if I click this, I might, okay. And I'm gonna turn off this preview scene setting. Sorry, for me, post-processing is very hard to make it see face.
So what are you doing there?
I turned that off post-processing because like I don't want to see the it's hard. It's basically pose. If you look at each frame of this animation, each frame is a pose
Oh,
of
I see.
stuff.
That's why the face kind of freaks out.
Yeah.
Because I saw it do that. And I'm like, did I see that? Did anyone else see that? Okay, cool.
That's the feature.
Yeah, feature, not bug.
So the way this animation is actually made for pose. So I can create the pose asset from this one. So say that's my pose asset. And this one is, if you look at it, it is keep going away because they're all on the sky. But anyway, so oh God, okay. So each double click will let you see it, but if I double click again, it goes away. So each one basically has a certain pose. I don't know. You can see well. It's very hard to see from this
Probably
screen.
zoom in a little bit. We have an
Yeah.
awful lot of menus everywhere.
Okay,
there we
so
go.
Yeah, so you can see blink and then
Oh.
eye opening and left, right looking and some smiling and stuff like that. So each of
I
them
like
are
the
certain
smirky
pose.
face where he has like one eyebrow raised. He knows
Yeah.
what's up.
So did that, and but now to look at the name of the pose is a little hard. But we usually define pose names. So I have this list of pose names from the tech animation team. I can paste all of this, and now I have this pose. The problem with this current one is because if I do 1 and 1, oh God, that looks bad. So the reason it looks bad is because it's blending full as a full pose, which
Mhm.
doesn't really work correctly. So what you want to do is for the facial, especially when you want to add all of them together,
Mhm.
you want to make it additive pose.
Mm.
So this is a check for additive, and when you make an additive, you want to say what's your base pose for additive, and we actually made the base pose to be first frame, so that we have a base pose already. So if I convert to additive, it looks the same, but now I can actually accumulate all of them. So I can select wide. On top of that, maybe I can do smiling, right smiling, and all of them is accumulating.
Oh.
So facial is for you want to use additive, and now what you can do, you can import animation. So this is if I can ever import here. So I don't want to import the mesh. I want to import with the face pose skeleton. There's a two. I think mannequin one probably right. So import. I think it is correct.
Mhm.
But so now I open and there's nothing to look at basically because it doesn't really know how to process the curve. So this was not the right one.
Oh no, so you needed the other one.
It was the other one, I
Ah,
think.
All right.
Because I thought this was this one. No, I didn't do this right. This one. So I have to import to using this guy. So anyway, so if I import that again, I'm gonna change it. There's no, okay, so I have to find another folder. So I thought there was, yeah, okay. So there was a mannequin. So it's this one?
They're both under one, but one's
I
under.
know. I thought I imported for this one, actually. Well, anyway, I hope it's correct.
We will find out.
I know. Because I need to see the pole.
There it
Okay, there you
goes.
go. So
that
now,
was the correct
now
one.
it's moving. So when I don't have this one, it doesn't really nothing. There is a curve exist that drive the facial, but there is no pose processor at the end. So if you specify what pose asset, then start to use you're gonna start to seeing this facial moving. So this is very popular for the facial. Oh God, I cannot move mouse close enough. But anyway, very easy to make a facial animation using curve. But yeah, you wanna do the additive.
Wow, that's really impressive just to see, just to know that what that is like a series of bone poses, and
Yeah.
then you are just adding them together to create that. And you can drive this through blueprint, right? So you could say like where the pose is like 0 to 1.
So that's in the anim blueprint, yeah.
Yeah,
in
in
the
the
anim
anim
blueprint,
blueprint.
you can do all that. How much weight you want? Yeah, so you can do that. Also, the other thing I kind of like showed a little bit, but anim curve is the one that actually got improved a little bit for previewing, especially like in this each frame, you can tell how much of the curve value coming up.
Yeah.
You can also say like I don't want all curve. I'm gonna only see the current ones, and I can say like I only want to see multi-target curve, but I don't have actually multi-target curve here, so I'm not gonna see anything. But you can filter by types, and you can see each frame what it does, and you can also change the value in here, if you change it, it's gonna basically override certain things. This auto button is to whether it's processing what's coming up or you are overriding it. So if you say auto, then it's gonna go away. But if you say like 1, I want to see what this does, then you can actually type it and see what it does, and
just
stuff
keep
like
it
that.
locked in there.
Yeah. That didn't do much, but like you say, it looked right. I don't know if it does well. Yeah, it does some like changes. So you can see what it does. But generally, if we just want to preview, it's still great. Like before, you couldn't really tell other than you go through each curve and figuring out what's the value. But now you can do that. So
Wow.
that's way to do it. So I think they covered most of it. So this curve viewer is now, before it was like a skeleton and curve where you can rename stuff. Now here you can preview, you can delete, rename everything. Also, we are moving for the full 14. We are moving this like these types of curves to this window. So before you were saying like before we were doing like material curves here, morph target curves here, but that old option is gonna move to this window.
Yeah.
So you can do it in one spot. Because before we had the issue where like we have a material curve in here with the same name, but the other one didn't have it. So you had the issue where like sometimes it's working, it's not working sometimes, and it was very confusing. And there's
Yeah.
no reason to, honestly, and it's more maintenance.
Better
So
UX entirely then.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's very confusing. So here it's gonna go all that. Yeah, that's basically the facial plan we have in the future. Facial animation, we want to have like a curve, just pure curve driving without anim sequence. So those things are coming, and those curves can be embedded into sound. So you can actually play sound, and then have those sound to drive the curve and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's more like future thing, but
That
yeah,
makes sense. And so that's how you can get like
phoning,
yeah, like probably like a character talking to you,
Yes.
and it warps the mouth properly to the noise it's making.
yes,
Which I can see how that's also going to be incredibly important. Where a lot of people that are doing VR multiplayer, they have that problem where trying to get the mouth to move, where one player talks to another,
Oh, I see.
and sometimes people just have the jaw wiggle, and
Yeah.
that's what the issue is. You can't do that proper. But now I guess you could. Yeah.
yeah, soon coming.
Yes, coming soon.
Not like really soon, but sometime soon.
We don't like to set crazy expectations here. I mean, come on.
Why not? It's a real
Amazing.
engine. Anyway, so that's end of project set. Now I think. Oh God, don't save. Now we have a sub anim instance. I think Ben probably can do some introduction.
Ben?
I don't see Ben.
Ben's
Did you-
over there.
Hey,
Oh, hi Ben.
hey,
Hi Ben.
hey. Cool. It was nice to see that actually run some facial. I haven't actually seen it running anything yet. That was cool. So yeah, sub-anim instances are a new sort of way to use anim blueprints. We run them normally when you have a skeletal mesh component. It will have an anim instance which runs your anim blueprint, but you had to have everything inside that blueprint. You couldn't separate it. So what this allows us to do is to treat them sort of like functions or subgraphs, and they run inside the skeletal mesh component. So what Lina's going to do here is just show how easy it is. You create any anim blueprint you want to. Doesn't have to be anything special about it. So if you want to open that one up.
Yeah. So. Oh God. Okay.
So yeah, that's just an empty anim blueprint. Nothing special. It's exactly the same as any anim blueprint that currently exists in any project. So if you put an animation down,
Maybe I'll do something different.
oh yeah, that's idle.
I know idle is like there's nothing really different about it, so maybe I'll do that.
So yeah, it's just playing a guy walking. So if you want to shift over to the character blueprint,
Okay, I can do this. Okay.
so underneath those nodes, there's a few loose ones. So that node here is you don't have is the subinstance nodes. This is how you represent a subinstance inside the anim graph. What you have to do is select your interface, your target class, which will not be that one. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is that
Oh
one.
yeah, test one, the one I made.
Yep. So when you compile that, it just runs that anim instance. So that's inside your animation blueprint, sort of like a function. And that's the basics of them. Now, there's a few things you can do. So if you drop an input node down on your test, so we have this new node, which is a subgraph input. If you just want to wire that straight into the result.
Yeah, we can do that.
So at the moment, all this will do when it's compiled is it'll just show the ref pose. But it allows, as you can see in this graph, it allows you to pass a pose into that graph. And then that graph can modify that pose, because they wouldn't be very useful if you couldn't use them to modify something. So it's passing the default state machine there into the anim instance and then straight out into the final animation pose, which at the moment isn't doing anything. All it's doing is running straight through into the result. So if we want to shift over and
Create the variable.
no, we'll show that on the other one. If you want to go back to the
Okay.
character,
Back to character.
and in the target class for that node, if you switch that to the subinstance class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a real instance, and it doesn't really do anything when you compile it. It doesn't seem to do anything anyway, but it is running, and it's got a special parameter in there that allows you to make it run. Now, the way that the node's set up at the moment is you can't see that parameter, but on the details panel, there's a big list of all of the variables that you're allowed to pass into that node. The way you create these, which we'll go into that in a couple of minutes. If you want to expose that pin, Lina,
Okay, I will. I was gonna show this one, but okay.
yeah, we'll show that one in a second.
Expose this one. Okay.
So that puts up your pin, and that allows you to pass things in just like a function call. So if you hook up the divide node,
This one.
yep,
Okay.
and then if you want to go and pi and run around in the level editor.
So, yeah.
So when you run around,
victory running. If I stop, then it stops. So
so as you can see in the actual graph, we haven't done any of that. All we have is a state machine which makes the guy run around. So that's all coming from the subinstance. So in the subinstance graph, all we have here is a couple of fabric nodes. So these are IK nodes that just tell the arms to point up in the air and spin around a little bit. And then that variable that we passed in is just the effect alpha you see on screen there. So that's any public variable on your subinstance class will appear on that node for you to use. And that's really the basics of anim instances. It's quite a powerful feature. To give a few examples, we can use it for if you have some IK or you have some physics, some anim dynamics, or any other physical animation that you might want to run either in multiple places or on multiple characters. In 4.12 and before, you would have to reproduce that behavior for each character. In 4.13, you can do it once and just plug it into all your characters. So you can save a lot of time. Makes it much more maintainable.
It's just so enthusiastic and fantastic.
it's great. I love your.
I like how it kind of like twists his arms too.
I know it twisted. So that's awesome.
He's obviously very excited about subinstances. We're also
awesome.
looking. Lina gave you a sneak peek of the upcoming features. So we've got one more upcoming feature for this that will be in the next engine version, and this is called a post-process instance. So the post-process instance is something that you can tie to a particular mesh. You will go into your mesh window and it will be in your details panel, and that allows you to do things. So this will always run after all other instances. So when you set that up, you can do it for any physical object, or if you have a robot that's got lots of pistons that are controlled in the anim graph, or if you have a guy with loads of dreadlocks and they're flailing about, or if you've got some anim dynamics running some cloth, you can run all of that in the post-process instance, and you place it on your mesh, and it means whenever someone uses your mesh, it will have all of your nice physical animation on it, even if they didn't set it up themselves. This gives you obvious benefits in that you don't have to set this up for every character. It's just there and working. It also works immediately in sequencer, so you don't need a special sequencer asset that runs your physical animation. It runs if someone just pulls a skeletal mesh actor into the world, it runs perfectly on there. It runs in Persona and all of the other anim tools. So that's quite handy, and that'll be upcoming as well, which kind of an extension of this to allow you to do that stuff once for a mesh.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really.
There's a,
I was
may as
gonna.
well
Sorry.
trying to set up some physics.
Yeah, I was trying to set up the physics.
Yeah, we have there's a few limitations with this and a few times you wouldn't want to use it. It's mainly because if you use a lot of slot nodes or anim notifies,
Mm-hmm.
normally they would be, sorry, not anim notifies, branching points. Normally they would be unique names within the component. It won't be in this case. Any slots that are referenced inside of subinstance will not be visible to their parent. That's just a limitation of the fact that we box these so we can run them during the async tick. But it's that's really the only limitation. Otherwise, you can do whatever you'd like with it.
Yeah. So it's very cool. We like post-process graph in the future will also help a lot of like maintenance work for each character. You have a different character. You always want them to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That really is gonna help a lot in the future. Yeah, but this is awesome for like organizing your anim blueprint when you have so many people working in the same graph. It has been very difficult to work together, but now you can actually have this person doing only weapon and this person doing certain things only, and you can
so
organize.
it's an constituents like in its own sub
Yeah.
graph. You don't have to step on each other's
Yeah.
toes. All right. A couple people in chat were a little curious about starting over with where the sub graph kind of starts from and show the flow from where the origin point is to kind of how it goes to the final pose.
Sure.
Okay.
So we can do that if you just, well, that is compiled there. So what's happening here is the state machine default. If you just want to double click on
open
that
that
state
one.
machine. So this one here is what generates the actual motion of the character. This is just without the subinstances. This is a brand new third-person blueprint project. So this runs your idle, your run, your jumps, and then that pose normally would just go straight to your result, and that is how the character in the third-person project runs.
So if
In
I
this
do
case,
this, does it, yeah.
Yep.
If I do that, then I'm just normal character.
yep.
It's
So
very
if you run
good.
around now, it just does the normal default.
Yeah.
So if you go back to the graph for a second, so when the pose comes out of that default state machine, if you double click on the subinstance, it
Oh.
comes in at this subgraph input, and then it goes into the fabric nodes and then into the final animation pose. And then if you go back to the character blueprint, it comes out of the subinstance node and into the result here. So it flows straight in and out of that animation. You also don't have to have this input pose. If you're using this subinstance to generate either a pose or an additive, you could have no input node, and then it would just look like this.
Oh, I recreated it. I thought I didn't have it. Okay, so if I don't
Yeah, and
have
if you
it, yeah.
yep, if you don't have that, you can go straight back to the graph and it'll have disappeared.
Yeah, then it doesn't have it.
So you don't have to have that that
Yeah.
input if that's not useful to you.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer the question?
I think so. I think that at least helps clarify. Cool. We do have a couple Q&A questions from the chat.
Yeah.
They should be over in the other document. Oh, actually,
Okay,
yeah. Let's
this
start with
one.
start with the forum one that you already had.
Okay,
open.
so we had some question in the forum.
Mhm.
So the first question was how to deal with the different piece of character addition and have a different set of joint, so they cannot use a master pose component. Because a master pose component requires for them to have a same hierarchy, or like at least partially matching hierarchy in level. You can use a copy pose from mesh, and that looks like this. Actually, I can show you here. So what this node does is you can create each piece to
Mhm.
have their own any blueprint, but you can copy certain bone transform from another component. So we do this for Fortnite actually. We have a gauntlet for the gloves, and they have all crazy stuff in here. So they can also animate like a poncho stuff. And then, but they want to use hand animation from base.
Okay, it's a little tricky there.
It's a little tricky.
Yeah.
No, it's not that tricky. So basically, what it does is, if you have a certain mesh and you want to use a certain part of the animation, you can use this node to copy certain transform from another mesh. So I guess if I just reiterate the question so that people just to know what's the exact question. The exact question, original question was, you have character customization, so you have like a different part of the body, but you want to share the animation from base, but you don't want to share all of them. You want to animate certain portion, they have different joint. And how do you make them happen? And the solution I was just saying is this copy pose from mesh, where you can copy from base mesh. And what this node does is copies all the transform with the same joint name. But you don't have to do all of it. So usually the way you would do is probably you copy from base, and you use, I think that's not right, layer node.
Get a layer.
Layer to blend by bone. Yeah, so you probably what would do is you probably know some hierarchy that you want to copy that joint from, and you basically filter per joint. So you say, I want to get this animation from this source for this guy, and for the other guy, I want to animate certain portion or something like that. So you can use this one.
Awesome.
That sounds good. So the second question, in the pose system is an efficient solution to make a RPG character customization system. So I think it's talking about the facial animation for different faces. And that is eventually, because the one I was just saying originally is right now you can only drive by anim sequence, because anim sequence contains a curve. But eventually you don't really need anim sequence. You just need a list of curves. And if you just make face rigging in the Maya to be all same, they have the same pose, because each individual can have a different pose asset, and then they can have the same names. So same curve name can drive all of them.
Okay.
So you should be able to do it. So that should be the way to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's in the instance where you're going to have a character creation system and you're like designing the shape of the face. Oops.
Yeah. So designing face. That too, and so you will need a certain poses though. Like you will need poses for so you'll probably have some morph target and stuff to just create the shape.
Yeah.
And then now curves can drive those curves.
Yeah, we can do the same whenever you see a game where you have like a big list of sliders
Yeah.
Yeah,
for your face,
actually,
you can
yeah.
tie each of those to a morph target.
And so each one of those just kind of like adds plus minus 30 whatever amount of number to the driver there, and then so that when you actually get to the movement of like the mouth, if your character talks, it has an offset based on your character's actually face shape.
The curves
could
will
you-
drive those
Okay.
values.
Okay.
So I think that could be pretty cool. Any ETA on the animation stuff from Paragon. Oh, so the Paragon has like 3-leg IK, and they have like orientation warping mode, speed warping mode. Those are coming. I think leg IK is in the engine now, but the other stuff is because they have some like data structure to be kept along a bit complicated. But Laurent is working on it, so it should be coming to engine soon. And the second question is, how is the cloud editor coming? Ben can answer that.
How was the cloth editor coming, Ben?
It's coming along. We're looking at let's see if I can give an update where I am now. So we're looking at moving to a much lower level cloth simulation that we have an awful lot more control over. I'm currently looking at writing that framework to allow us to run that simulation, and then we'll look into tools afterwards. But that's planned to allow you to, hopefully, you'd make your simulation mesh and your graphical mesh in Max, Maya, Blender, whatever you'd like. Select that in the engine, and you can do all of your editing for your clothing in the engine, and you won't have to have any specific tools or expensive DCC tools to plug plugins into. So hopefully we'll get that all in engine.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. The last one in the forum is full body IK. So the question is, it's not clear if it's working on full body IK or some part of the retargeting, but actually, yeah, it is actually part of retargeting first. We are not really aiming for full body IK yet. It's more of the how to retarget quickly, how to make animation to work with very small data. So it's more like a rigging in engine or rigging in runtime. So that's the first step to go, and then when we get there, we might look into more elaborated IK. But for now, we are more looking into the retargeting perspective. I think there's one more question about Mixamo rig, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of Mixamo rig question. We had lots of stream before with Mixamo, so I don't know.
The question on the forums was, would you guys be able to cover an example workflow with a Mixamo rig?
But yeah, you can download the FBX for your engine from Mixamo directly. So
I just don't know how much facial rigging they have on them. I haven't.
I don't know actually that part yet. I actually wasn't sure about if it's facial.
Yeah, but you could just do basic
character.
Pose assets out of it. So yeah.
And we had to start the content from Mixamo in the marketplace.
Yeah, so it should be in there if you want to play with it. But it's same basic concepts as we showed earlier. You just kind of like right-click the animation and make a pose asset out of it, and then eliminate the sections out that you don't want. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Is that the last question off of the forums?
Yes.
All right, then I think we have some that are in the doc that are next to.
Oh, there are more. Okay.
Oh, they added more? Yeah. Oh, yeah, those are fresh today. Yep.
You go first, yeah. I will answer that first.
Actually, they're up over there on the next page over.
Okay. This one.
Yes, scroll down just a little.
Oh,
there you go. How well does this integrate with Connect V2? I don't think that either of us are playing with Connect V2 and also this at the same time. This is a fairly new feature. I'm not sure, but I think you could probably play around with it and let us know what you encounter, and then we'll try to help you out with it if you encounter anything funky. But it's just not one I have tested out personally.
I don't know what exactly looking into integrate to Connect version 2 for specific, but yeah, I don't really.
Yeah. Will using the pose use less memory than importing a full animation? So yeah, poses or animations, what's more expensive? I knew that was going to be a question that's on everyone's mind.
I guess it depends. Like if you have a lot of animation, pose is cheaper, and if you can just figure out the snapshot of every pose that you can create the animation from. Facial is a really good example of that case because the face requires a lot of joint to animate, and animating all of them is importing them for 300 dialogue is so much of the memory. So in that case, curve is a lot cheaper. So most of case pose animation is cheaper, but if you don't have that, if you have a case where each pose has to be so unique that they don't really work blending together, then it becomes like same problem with the animation can be cheaper. Because animation we can compress a lot better. Pose we don't really compress because the pose has to be blending all the time together. So yeah.
All right, I guess that makes a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about things like overgrowth.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's it's like they needed to be able to blend a ton of animations together. So instead of just making a bunch of like in between animations of them kind of being between all those poses, it was better to just do kind of a pose setup. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If you're just doing a standard game, why not just use animations? It's simple and will look nice. Let's see here. Once built, are the in-betweens there to grab again and repose? So I guess does it create new keyframes between them? Like if you have poses and you were showing the alpha blend between them, but I don't think that it creates a new set of keyframes.
So once built, are they? I
don't think it actually generates any in-betweens. It's just curves, isn't it?
No, it doesn't really.
Yep.
Between, yeah.
Yeah. So
in between.
If you want an in-between, you just have to like set the blend of both of them to a certain amount and then lock it there.
So the one 4.14 will have insert pose.
Oh, okay.
So if you can find a point you like to create the pose for,
Yes.
and then you can just insert to and select what pose essay you want to insert to. It's gonna insert the pose for you.
Okay. Could you? I guess the question is, can you extract out? Like you're saying, like insert, but like if you blend it and like halfway in, you like that pose, you want to extract it out. And
Oh,
put it
you
in
can just
something else.
make it. I guess I was more thinking like, if you do that, then you can just do what is it? There's a create
Wait.
option. Actually, doesn't really
Could
have
you
it.
just record?
Yeah, you can record, or you can record. I'm sorry. You can
He's
record, or
excited.
what I was gonna show this one to create animation from current pose.
Oh, that's it. That's it. That's
That's
the
why
thing
I'm like-
they were asking for.
You can
It's-
just do that.
it's that button right there.
We have an option for creating animation from reference pose or current pose or current animation, which means whole animation. So you can do that. You can create pose from any anime sequence of current pose or current animation. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
awesome.
I'm like, there's a record button here too, by the way. So
That's
either
cool.
record or just create the pose. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can either
Yeah, you can
create
just
or
extract
record.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Geez, I forget. Sometimes I forget how powerful the animation tools are in here.
Oh.
There's just so many options. Thank you. By the
Thank
way.
you.
You did a great job making all that. Cool. Let's see here. Can Unreal with this new rig feature import or capture facial animation? This is not a facial capture system. This isn't
No,
like a
it's not.
mocap system for
It's not.
capturing.
It's not. It's more like I guess import. More like we. So currently it's just the animation sequence with the curves we import and then drive this facial. But eventually we would like to have just curve importing only. So you can just import a batch of curves and then do something with it, or do post processing on them, do stuff and use it for it. But we are not doing capture facial animation.
Yeah, it's not capture. That's all.
No.
So yeah, you would capture it in another external program for mocap and then bring it in
Yeah,
as an asset, and then you
face-
could strip it down to the poses.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
face shift to face where there's a lot of the video capture of
Mhm.
facial and create the. They do like create a pose and then they can generate the curve for you. Then we can import those curve and play on them. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see here. About the meshes with extra bones, would the extra would the extra meshes be added to the main character BP as additional mesh components?
I think. Is it talking about the customization? Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's in the example copy pose from mesh. It doesn't have to share skeleton, so they're separate blueprint. So they don't have to share any joint. It's not gonna those extra joint to one go to the main skeleton. It doesn't have to. So you can have two different skeleton. Copy pose from this skeleton of mesh, and when it copies, it's going to only copy the joint with the same name,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's gonna copy to this guy. So no, they don't.
I mean, from that question, they can be child actors of the character actor, or they can be completely separate. There's nothing making you do that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that answers that one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Any solution for retargeting a cat rig from 3ds Max to use the marketplace assets designed for the UE4 skeleton? Oh, okay. So this is just a retargeting a question. If you have like a quadruped.
I think he's talking about the cat
let's say- oh, wait, no, no,
software.
cat.
Software. Yeah.
No, cat.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm reading it as the word, not as the as the
It's a-
abbreviation or acronym.
I don't know if we have the plan. I think that's more for tech animation team question, but I doubt we do have the plan yet. I don't know. Maybe some content team can answer in the future, in the
Yeah.
forum.
Yeah, we'll probably have to go back on the forums 'cause that one's a little outside of the scope of this particular stream. Let's see here. Can't be the pose method. Okay. So the question here is, can you use pose, or can you use pose with blend space together so it's smoother? That's what that is. So so if you have morph targets plus poses, you could use them together at the same time to create even smoother movement. Or
I
unless I'm
think
misunderstanding
it's
that.
yeah, I know it's a little. So I think because it's a little weird. Pose method to be used with the blend space. So I think it's talking about this blend space whole.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really we like to do that. So like for example, here you added a pose here. I think that's what he's asking,
Oh, okay.
or something like that. But
Okay, something like that.
so eventually, like aim offset is almost that. Aim offset you can like import the one frame animation and can make a blend space for it. We want to get there, but not right now. But we have that plan. Eventually, you should be able to pretty much exchange with any anim sequence. But I'm not sure about why it's smoother. So if somebody can clarify, maybe that's better. Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be more smoother. But anyway,
I don't know.
yeah.
But all right. Will there be a template face, aka template? Oh, okay. So template is the name of the gray guy up there. Template because it's a template. But they're asking if template will have a face added to a skeleton. Are we going to be getting in a content example for this?
We don't have the plan yet, but I'm sure we can make it. The one that we are using, the one that I showed as a internal test process. So maybe I can see if we can. We
like
can.
as a section
yeah.
of the anim, like the anim content examples, like
Yeah,
put one
something
more
like that.
stand like thing
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, for pose.
Maybe we can do that. Yeah, I don't know who to talk about that, but.
Oh, yeah, we can talk to the content examples
Okay.
people. If we don't already have something in the pipeline, we can get something in the
Oh
pipeline.
yeah, somebody talk to Chris Evan, and maybe he can.
Cool.
Double check. Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome. Let's see here. I'm not sure, but not sure, but I have noticed when you make an anim asset from the reference pose and add the animation in Persona and then create pose asset from it, it behaves strangely. Can you suggest something? I've created bones and morph target poses all together as well. This is a question from Alex Allright with Allright Rig.
Oh. Oh, there's a bug with the curve sampling. If that caused the oddness there, but if you have animation with the curves in between, so you have a morph target curves between, the curves was sampling in long point. Fixed it for 4.14, but it didn't get fixed for 4.13. It went out without it. So maybe that's why it was an issue. If you are having issue with the curve, that's probably what it is. There was a bug with that.
Okay.
But yeah, it should be fixed for 4.14. Yeah, but I can check with him maybe later if that's not the right.
Yeah, if that is actually like a bug and not just a issue with or a question about the pipeline of it, then also we can start up an Answer Hub bug report on anything. Anytime anybody out there ever has a question on a bug that they've potentially encountered, go to answers.unrealengine.com and file out a bug report for us. That way we can make sure that we get someone to look into it.
Yeah.
But that is the last of the questions that we have in from chat today. Let's see here. For next week, I'm looking into. Yeah, we're still coming up. Still locking down exactly who all will be on next Tuesday. So we'll have an announcement for that up very quickly. Just want to remind everybody that the the results of the September UE4 Jam, those will be next Thursday, and also I'm going to be announcing some more stuff with the Epic Mega Jam, so go on ahead and get on the forums and start forming up your teams for the Epic Mega Jam, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see everybody next week. Lina, Ben, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you come on to a future stream, maybe do a little bit of fun training or something around this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mocking. Now do with anim dynamics.
Yeah. Now we do the goodbye dance. Bye, y'all.
Victory. Bye.